Kia's latest generation Sportage has landed in Australia. The last gen was good, but this one is roomier, smarter, safer and more comfortable. But will it be enough to fight off its fierce rival? Hang on, this is not right. I've done this before. What did we do back in 2016 when the last generation? Can I borrow that for a sec? Okay, last generation came out in 2016. It sounds familiar. Hang on, play. The last gen was good, but this one is roomier, smarter, safer and more comfortable. But will that be enough to fight off its... Yep, it's exactly the same intro from 2016. I'm sorry about that. But look, this new generation Sportage is roomier, smarter, safer and more comfortable. The thing is that previous generation Sportage wasn't good enough to fight off its rivals. Not anymore. This 2022 new generation Sportage, this is the thing that keeps the RAV4, the Mazda CX-5 and the Hyundai Tucson awake at night. What I'm going to do here is give you a full range review, starting with design, and price and features, interior, and safety, under the bonnet, what's it got, fuel economy, ownership, and what it's like to drive. Now those are the time codes right there. You can skip through, reach in, pretend it's a lucky dip. Pull out whatever you watch and watch whatever you want. And down there, if you're watching on YouTube, are the chapter markers. Again, go for your life. Won't be offended if you skip ahead. I probably would be. Now, if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au and give us a like. Oh, and subscribe. Oh, my Kia, look at that face. It's beautiful in a I think this alien is about to eat me kind of way. No, seriously, I like the look of it. You see, these days in the SUV world, your face game has to be strong because you're up against this, and this, and this. But this, oh, this is stunning. I love that the headlights aren't the most prominent feature. See, those are the LED running lights, these are the indicators, and those are the headlights tucked in there. Different, unusual, nice. This is the king of the hill, the top of the heap of the GT line, and it has a slightly different look compared to the entry grade S. But both designs are ridiculously good looking to my eyes. And look at those tail lights. I could stare at them all day long. Let's go inside. Okay, would you have a look at this cabin? It is beautiful. Now, just a reminder though, I am in the top of the range GT line and I love these textured surfaces, the touch controls and these huge curved screens. It's amazing. But keep in mind though, in the lower grades, it doesn't look this schmancy. No, in fact, a lot of this is just blanked out panels to remind you that you've got the cheap version, but at the same time, you do get beautiful chrome handles or chrome look handles like that, and these beautiful chrome look air vents as well on all grades. That's pretty good. The new Sportage is longer than before. In fact, at 4.66 meters end to end, it's 175 millimeters longer than before. That can be hard to picture, and originally I wrote a joke about how it was exactly one Robert Downey Jr. long, or one Cameron Diaz long, or an Albert Einstein long. But then I made a mistake because they're 175 centimeters long. Look, it was 4 AM when I wrote this, so I needed to find something that was actually 175 millimeters long, and I did. It's the banded anteater, or otherwise known as the numbat. So the new Sportage is one banded anteater longer than the previous model. Now, I'm no banded anteater, but even at 191 centimeters tall, I've got this much room behind my driving position. Numbat. The numbat's mating call. It's very difficult to do. Storage space is really good. There's the space back behind the shifter, a large center console box, big door pockets in the front along with cup holders here and 2 more in the back. All grades get directional air vents in the second row. The higher grades have USB ports back there too, but all have 2 USB ports up front, a Type-C and a Type-A, while the GT line has a wireless phone charger. Apparently people who bought the last Kia Sportage wanted a boot which was 16.5% bigger. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, I just made that up, but I do know that that boot is 16.5% bigger than the last Kia Sportage's boot. What's important though, is that this boot is 1 litre bigger than the Toyota RAV4's boot. You want to talk money? I know you do. Now, there are 4 grades in the Kia Sportage range. It kicks off with the S, there's the SX, there's the SX Plus, and at the king of the hill, the top of the heap, is this one, the GT line. And those are the prices right there. Coming standard on the entry grade S are 17-inch alloy wheels, roof rails, an 8-inch touchscreen with, ready for it, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a digital instrument cluster, a 6-speaker stereo, you get a reversing camera, rear parking sensors only by the way, adaptive cruise control, fabric seats, air conditioning, LED headlights and those LED running lights. Now I am in the GT line, just a reminder, but the SX grade gets that 12.3-inch screen. It also gets sat-nav, it also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you are going to need a cord, and it comes with dual zone climate control as well. Now the SX Plus gets a whole lot more kit. It gets a Harman Kardon stereo, it's a bit fancy. It gets a powered driver's seat, heated front seats, it gets a proximity key and privacy glass in the rear. And the top of the range is this, the GT line. You get those double curved 12.3-inch screens, that panoramic sunroof, and these leather seats. Yes, confirmed, they are leather. At the time that we filmed this video, the Kia Sportage hadn't been given an ANCAP safety rating yet, but the signs look good. All grades come with AEB, which can detect cyclists and pedestrians. It even works at intersections. There's rear cross traffic alert with braking, blind spot warning, which will steer you back into your lane, and yes, lane keeping assistance as well. There's even a function which tells you if you're about to open your door in front of a cyclist or a car. Very good. The Kia Sportage comes with 3 engines, but you can just have one per car, all right? Don't get greedy. It comes with a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol, it comes with a 2-litre diesel engine, and there's this bad boy, a 1.6-litre turbo-petrol engine. This one comes with a dual-clutch automatic transmission. It's very smooth, actually smoother than its Tucson brother, its Hyundai Tucson brother. There's also a 6-speed manual gearbox. I drove it, I loved it. And coming soon, maybe, fingers crossed, is a hybrid version of the Kia Sportage as well. It's an actual kung fu move. Kia says that after a combination of open and urban roads, you should be getting those mileages you can see on your screen right there. Thirsty. Yep, this is the Kia Sportage's weak point. I mean, you can get a hybrid Sportage overseas. Why can't you here, Kia? Oh, look at this. Kia have thought of everything. There's even a little reading nook just down here and a bookshelf with the manual. There it is. Look at this. Frequently asked questions. What is life? Can a fish drown? What's the smell of yellow and red? Very good questions. All Kia Sportages come with a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty. That's a very long warranty, very, very good. It also comes with cap price servicing as well. But read the fine print. The servicing is actually quite pricey. You're looking at $3,500 to $4,000 over the course of 7 years. So think about that. Oh. All right, let's drive. Now, just a reminder, we are in the GT line. It's got a 1.6-litre turbo petrol 4-cylinder, and it's got this dual clutch automatic transmission with the rotary dial, which is actually really easy to use. Kias are really easy to use. Other brands, like Ford, are not as easy in terms of the rotary dial shifting. Now, for something which looks like a cheese grater from the outside, the visibility is really, really good from the driver's seat. These A-pillars are really thin and they curve in. And going around a corner like this, you can see through the corner really, really well. Now, that rear window is on the tinier side. It's not as small as I've seen on other SUVs in this class, but the reversing camera is really good. And these side windows, they're quite tall, so visibility out these and out of the rear windows are good too. There aren't any blind spots. In fact, that rear quarter window is actually excellent. All right, so at the launch of the Sportage, this new generation car, I drove the three engines. I drove the 2-litre 4-cylinder with the manual gearbox, and that was awesome. It had been donkey's years since I drove a manual, and I actually found it really fun, really engaging. But that's because I was on roads kind of like these, and manuals are a little bit annoying in the city. I've lived with one on my own car for many years, and yeah, having to push your foot in and out constantly in traffic is annoying. But on a road like this, on a fun country road that winds, the manuals are fantastic, and that 2-litre engine isn't too bad either. I drove the diesel, the 2-litre diesel. That felt really grunty. So if you are towing, the diesel is the way to go. It's got a 1900 kilogram braked towing capacity. The petrol is a bit below that. And as I said before, this 1.6-litre turbo petrol is the little beast in the range. Plenty of grunt, it's peppy, and that dual clutch is really, really smooth. The same sort of system is in the Tucson, which is the brother of the Sportage, and I don't think it's as smooth, or it doesn't feel to me to be as smooth as the Sportage's dual clutch. Now, the ride of the new Kia Sportage is excellent. It's composed, the handling is pretty good for an SUV in this class, but it's just so much better than the Tucson. It's so much better than the RAV4. It's better than the Outlander, and that's down to local tuning. Now, the local tuning team is headed up by a guy called Graham Gambold. He's like the Gandalf of suspension tuning. And what he does is he gets a car from Korea that hasn't arrived in Australia yet, and he goes through a process of trial and elimination, getting the shock absorbers and the springs just right for Aussie roads. So the Tucson's got a global tune, which means it's kind of a one-size-fits-all, but the Sportage, which is closely related, has an Aussie tune. So to me, it's better suited to these kinds of roads. I really think you can feel it. The only thing I'm not a fan of is the steering. The steering's fine, absolutely fine. It just feels a little bit light and doesn't have a lot of feedback to it. And actually that's the one part which hasn't been specifically tuned for Australia. They offered their input from Kia Australia, and the Korean headquarters tried to take all that on board. And this is what we've got. It's not too bad, but I reckon locally tuned steering would make it even better. So yeah, in terms of the rivals, I would say this is better than the RAV4 to drive. The RAV4, the petrol RAV4 has got a CVT, which is a continuously variable gearbox. You put your foot down, there's a lot of noise, not a lot of acceleration, unlike the Sportage transmissions, which you've got the dual clutch and you've also got the regular auto. You really feel like that grunt is getting to the ground. Now, compared to the RAV4, the Tucson, the Outlander, Forester, I reckon this Sportage could well be the best driving SUV in the class. Okay, it's time to give you the scores. Now, for design, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. Yes, I know, perfection. Well, you know, it is a 10 out of 10. It's a beautiful car. 10 out of 10 for design. For price and features, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, look, prices have gone up from before, but still, the value for money is still very good. For interior, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. That extra 175 millimeters in length has given you more legroom, more boot space, the lot. 9 out of 10 for interior. For safety, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Yes, it hasn't been given an ANCAP safety rating just yet, but the signs are excellent. 9 out of 10 for safety. For engine and transmission, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Come on, bring in that hybrid. For fuel efficiency, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. Really, this is the weak point of the Kia Sportage. Please, Kia, I'm talking to you. Bring in that hybrid, please. 7 out of 10. For ownership, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, look, it doesn't get a 9 because even though it has a 7-year unlimited kilometre warranty, which is really long, the servicing costs are a little bit on the dearer side. So 8 out of 10 there. Now, for what it's like to drive, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's so composed, it's so comfortable. The only thing I'd change is that steering just a tiny little bit for feedback. 9 out of 10. And that gives us an overall rating for the entire Kia Sportage range of 8.5 out of 10. Now, if you want to read the full review, go to carsguide.com.au, give us a like and subscribe. Subscribe.